But there's all kinds of tunnels under Jerusalem. I mean, there's another city under that city. Okay? And who knows what hasn't been discovered. But apparently they took the Ark of the Covenant and all this temple furniture outside the city wall, but inside the siege wall. Well, if you look at where that arrow is pointing, that is Golgotha, the place where Jesus was crucified. The garden tomb is right there. I was there a couple years ago. I'm going again in the spring back to Jerusalem. Oh, it's incredible. If you get a chance to go to the Holy Land, get over there. It's called the Place of the Skull. Jeremiah's grotto is now a place where they store bananas. A couple of Muslims own it, and they store fruit there to sell. But apparently in Jeremiah's grotto, all this, you can see it there, Place of the Skull, where they stoned Stephen, the garden tomb, the Gordon's Calvary. Jesus was crucified right there. He was buried just a short distance away in the tomb. And we get into more later on the crucifixion site. But Ron was digging in that area, Ron Wyatt, who died in '99. And you can get all of his discoveries from our ministry. There's only, I think, 2 people that sell his DVDs, him and us. $100 for his DVD series. It's phenomenal. If you want to watch, there's probably 5 DVDs, I think. Yeah. If you want to get all of Ron Wyatt's discoveries, you can see more about this. Just contact our ministry, $100 and get it. But Ron said he was digging outside there in Jeremiah's grotto area, and they found the crucifixion site. He covers it all on the DVDs, and they found this little cave. It had a Muslim friend working with him, helping him dig dirt. You know, he just paid this guy Arab to dig. He was squeezing down in this little hole, digging around, and he came out screaming, "I quit, I quit," and left. So Ron went in there, and according to Ron, I talked to him for hours about it. And he said, "Brother Hovind, if you told me this story, I wouldn't believe you. But it happened to me, and I know that all liars have their part in the lake of fire." Ron, I knew Ron personally. I think he was a good man. If I was God, I would let him find this kind of stuff because he wasn't looking for glory. He was looking to glorify God. So other people, other Christians, and even good friends of mine say, "Oh, Ron's wrong. He's, I get blasted for even mentioning Ron." And Eric, you and I, on our video series, Creation Science, Answering the Critics, we cover some of that in this DVD series. If you want to get all those DVDs about our answers to the critics, but Ron said he squeezed down in this little hole, and there's a little cave about 4 feet high, and he saw several things in there. As he looked around with his flashlight, he found, for instance, the table of showbread. The golden table that the Jews had built 3,000 years ago. Jeremiah hid that stuff in there, built a false wall in front of it. And there's this concrete box, like a concrete, but it's actually a rock, hollowed out. And the lid was broken, according to Ron. He went over there and he looked at this lid, and he couldn't see in it because the ceiling's too short. But all over this lid was a black stuff like dried ketchup. It turned out to be dried blood, according to Ron. Right above the crack in the lid was a crack in the ceiling of this little short cave. That crack in the ceiling went all the way up to where Jesus was crucified, 20 feet straight up through solid rock. All this is according to Ron. I've never seen that. But there's other folks who say, yep, that's correct. I mean, I don't know, but it preaches good, at least. Apparently, Jesus died on the cross, and his blood ran right down onto the mercy seat, which is where the blood was supposed to go when there was a sacrifice. Because Jeremiah had stuck it there 600 years earlier. And the blood ran right down to the mercy seat. Now Uzzah put forth his hand and touched the ark, and God killed him. So when Ron told the Jewish authorities, hey, here's your ark, they said, oh, we're not going to touch that. It's still there, waiting for the new temple to be built. Then they're going to get it out and put it in the temple. So you can go to WyattMuseum.com and talk to Richard. He'll just say, Richard will say, I don't know, this is what Ron said. And that's best I can do too. Okay, is God's name in Jerusalem? Hickory Hammock Baptist Church over here in Milton, Florida, Pastor Carl Gallup's a good friend of mine. I've spoken there a couple times. He's got a great sermon on this topic, and you ought to get a hold of him to get that. Is God's name in Jerusalem? Well, the Hebrew alphabet has all these different letters in it. One of them looks kind of like a W. It's called the Shin. That is the Hebrew word. That one letter is the symbol for God. And a lot of Hebrews put this on their doorpost or beside their house. They put the Shin, That's God's house, okay? God said his name will be upon the children of Israel. He will put my name there forever, 1 Kings chapter 9. In Jerusalem will I put my name. In Jerusalem I will put my name forever, 2 Kings 21. 2 Chronicles chapter 33. Is God's name actually in Jerusalem? Apparently so, because there are 3 valleys that form a Shin. His name is permanently stamped there on this city. So that preaches good. I don't know. Okay, what about Bigfoot? I get asked the question all the time, hey, what about Bigfoot? Bigfoot lives. Deal with it. Chester Moore Jr. is a good friend of mine from the Houston area. I spoke at their cryptozoology conference. What about Bigfoot? How about the making of Bigfoot? This is the guy in this book saying, I dressed up as Bigfoot. I confess it was me. And he still got the Bigfoot suit. I have interviewed 10 people who swear they've seen a Bigfoot. Okay? Todd Jurassic's a good friend of mine. He's seen one several times. This film, the Patterson film here, is the one made by the guy who confessed it was him in the suit. All right? Matter of fact, there's the Bigfoot suit, not the original, but a copy of it is coming to Dinosaur Adventureland, going to be in our museum here soon. There's a guy in Colorado who's donating it to our museum. But what about Bigfoot? I don't know. Whatever these creatures are, some are certainly hoaxes and fakes and frauds, no question. Okay? But they've been seen in just about every state. There are several theories about Bigfoot. Since I've interviewed 10 people who have seen one, and because the question comes up, I'm going to answer it. But it's not something I deal with. I deal with creation. Here are the theories. Some people say they're all hoaxes or misidentified. Well, hoaxes, certainly that happens, but you've got to be understanding, especially in the South here, who in their right mind is going to run around dressed up in the woods like that? How many rednecks are there within 30 miles here that shoot one of them things on sight? Look at that thing moving. Bam! What is it? Oh, I don't know, George. Let's go check it out. You know, that's just shoot first, ask questions later. You know, that's just the way it is, all right? The second theory says they're unidentified species of ape. That could be true. This is Discovery Channel last night had a section on, you know, what is this Bigfoot stuff? Some people think they're some of the hippies from the 60s that haven't come in yet. They're hairy and they stink, okay? I don't know. Some people think they're aliens from another world. I don't know about that one. Some people think they're simply genetic experiments gone bad. The bottom line is, I don't know, but those are the current theories that I'm aware of. So if you see one, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. Genesis chapter 6 says there were giants in the earth in those days. Well, who were these giants? It came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God, which always refers to angels in the Old Testament, saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, his days shall be 120 years. Now, I don't know what that means. If anybody knows, let me know. People have argued, see, nobody's going to live past 120. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of folks that have lived past 120. Some people say it's going to be 120 years till the flood. I don't know. Maybe it means there's going to be 120 Jubilee years of human history. Every 50 years was a year of Jubilee. 120 times 50 is 6,000. I don't know. If you know, let me know, but I don't. But anyway, back to the giants. It says, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Who were these giants? And is this giants referring to the mighty men? Or does the phrase, after that, separate this into two totally unrelated subjects? I can't figure it out. Somebody knows, please let me know. But the Bible says God saw the wickedness of man and he said, I'm going to wipe them out, and he sent the flood. But who were these giants and who were these mighty men? It's the Hebrew word Nephilim. Who were the Nephilim? Well, some people think that Jude, verse 6, it's only got one chapter, they think Jude, verse 6, ties in. Angels which kept not their first estate. I think that ties in also, but I have no idea why I believe that, other than that's what I've been taught all my life. But I think it's always wise to question and say, well, is this really... Does this tie in? Other people think the Peter passage ties in. 1 Peter says, the spirits in prison waited in the days of Noah. Are these spirits in prison and the angels that